Hey, are you a business owner, entrepreneur, or professional? If so, we want you to apply to be a featured guest on our show. My name is Adam Torres, and I host the Mission Matters series of podcasts. I've recorded over 3,000 episodes, and we are just getting started. How do you know if you'd be a good guest to be on the show? Well, only one way to find out, and that's to apply, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We want guests that have a story to tell, guests with a brand, a product, or a service that can benefit my audience of listeners. If this sounds like you, go to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. I'd love to talk to you and get to know more about your story. Again, head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, now let's get into the show. Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Erik McKinney on the line, and he's Vice President, Executive Creative Director over at Impact XM. Erik, welcome to the show.
Hi, Adam. Thanks for having me.
All right, Erik, so excited about today's topic. So one of my favorites, so experiential marketing, and we'll talk about what that looks like in the new now. And just to get us started, so Erik, we at Mission Matters amplify stories for entrepreneurs, executives, and experts. So that's our mission here. Erik, what mission matters to you?
Well, I've been in experiential marketing for over 20 years now, and really at the core of why I do this is creating live experiences that tell compelling brand stories, and most importantly, entertain people and put smiles on their faces. And I think in the world we live in now, as we kind of come out of the shadows, live experiences, shared experiences between people are going to be as important as ever.
Man, Erik, I think you've been in experiential marketing before it was called that, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I was in it when it was event marketing, when there weren't dedicated creatives in it. So we've come a long way.
Yeah, I know, and it's one of my favorite things. I guess I'm always just so curious about it because I've just seen the benefits of what can happen when a brand really, when they really nail it. They can create these experiences that somebody will be talking about, sometimes years into the future, or they just I think they hit another just level of emotion sometimes. I guess just to get us kicked off, tell us a little bit more about Impact XM.
Well, Impact XM is an experiential marketing agency. We have several offices across the United States and Canada, as well as reach globally. Most importantly, we do live experiences both on the B2C and B2B side of things. So everything from sponsorship activations to proprietary events to conferences to trade show exhibits. And we are a full service experiential agency, meaning we kind of start with the blank canvas, build a strategy, develop creative ideas, but we can take it the whole way through execution. We have production facilities with awesome craftsmen out there building exhibits and building experiences. So we are a one-stop shop, so to speak.
Man, that's awesome. So really looking at this, how should we reconsider designing experiences?
Well, I think it's very interesting, and we've learned a lot over the past 18 months. I think first and foremost, it's about being more audience-centric in how we approach things. Historically, we obviously always start with the brand and the product and what we want to accomplish within the experience and the story we want to tell. But we need to be more sensitive now, understanding that people are just kind of emerging back into live experiences. And a lot of what we do is large-scale experiences. So people are surrounded by large amounts of people for the first time in a long time. So we need to consider their mindset. And with that, it's not just understanding why they're at an event and what their objectives are from a business perspective, but trying to understand their emotional mindset as well and apply that to how we create an experience and how we design the environment that they're going to be within.
tell me a little bit more about what goes into kind of designing the experience, the human needs of the audience, and just the experience overall. Because I think I don't think this topic gets enough airplay, in my opinion. Like, what goes into your creative process of making that in-person event?
Well, it does start, and I kind of sound like a broken record, with the brand story we want to tell and how that is adapted to the audience we're trying to reach. As far as doing it in present time, what I challenge my designers to do is think about the emotional need and how that's different to 18 months ago with live experiences. And what I mean by that is we've done ourselves over probably 500 virtual experiences in the last year, and people have learned in that time that I can get a lot of the baseline information and education via virtual experiences. We've seen data where it almost breaks evenly of whether people want virtual experiences, live experiences, or hybrid experiences. And I think the big reason for that is for the folks that are attending purely for the education component at an event, that can kind of be satiated through a virtual experience. However, the bigger reason that people that want live or hybrid experiences is the human connection. It's the networking. It's the event that happens annually, and you're reconnecting with peers from different places from around the world, and that the conversations that happen there, and how these live events are catalysts for relationships and new ideas, and that can't be replicated in a virtual environment. So as we're doing that, we need to balance the brand story we want to tell with creating spaces that facilitate that kind of space, creating spaces that people feel comfortable in. We've been really preaching a lot of open layouts and how you creating warmth through materiality and design and playing to the different senses, not just thinking of what things look like, but what's the sound, what's the feel, and creating an environment where people want to connect, and then we can share our brand story within that space. And then the other, go ahead.
Right. No, go ahead, please.
Oh, and I was going to say there's also just a very tactical side of it, of addressing the COVID concerns, whether it's our staffing and making sure that we have PPE provided, having hand sanitizers, constantly cleaning the space, keeping it as pristine and sanitized as possible. It's really functional, but when you're looking at a defined space or a defined experience, you have to accommodate all these things. And I'm constantly impressed by my designers and their ability to think rationally and emotionally as they're building these experiences.
Can you give me an example of either a live event that you've done recently or that you have coming up, and just to kind of put some meat around this in terms of like what went into that preparation for, let's say, the new norm?
Yeah, we have, without breaking client confidentiality, we have a big conference coming up in November that is about 1,000 people. It's business partners of this brand. And historically, it's been a very product-heavy experience where they're educating people on their new product launches, and it's very functional. The reason the client decided to go with us is, once again, we took an emotional approach to this. We built a thematic around kind of the rising of the brand kind of rising out of the ashes, so to speak, of the pandemic, and really put this hopeful, optimistic spin on it. We utilized different, we really expanded the color palette of the brand and really wanted to create this bright, optimistic future, not just for the brand, but of partnering in the relationships that they have with the attendees in the space. And it's really taken on a much more of an emotional spin. The branding that people see it's still on brand, but it's a very different representation. And then once we get to the space, we're translating that as well. We're taking a much brighter color palette. We're letting that kind of thematic influence every touch point, from the speakers to the product education, and consistently reinforcing hope and optimism and positivity within it, because that's what we all need emotionally right now. We can't be selfish as marketers, just focused on what we want to accomplish. We want brands to be a catalyst that help people through these times and give them, comfort and give them positivity as we're moving forward in the world.
Man, that's exciting. So Erik, what kind of companies do you typically work with? Like, is this only like huge events? Do you do mid-size, smaller events? I mean, give us a flavor for that, because at the end of this, I'll give the opportunity to leave a website or contact information so that some of our listeners can follow up and connect with you and your team. So what's typically a good fit, like for an event or otherwise?
I would say we run the gamut from really large events in, 10,000 plus people for big conferences or proprietary events, all the way down to we've done, 20 by 20 trade show exhibit booths. So we have a wide range. From a brand perspective, I think we work against 36 different verticals. So we do a lot of technology. We have a lot of experience, decades of experience in the life sciences category. But we also do lifestyle brands as well, from fashion to consumer goods.
That's awesome. So Erik, if somebody's listening to this right now and they want to learn more about Impact XM, I mean, what's the best way for them to connect and to follow up with your team?
The most in-depth information you'll get is at our website, impact-xm.com. But I'm also a pretty easy guy to connect with, so you can feel free to reach out to me directly. It's erik.mckinney@impact-xm.com. And Erik's E-R-I-K, McKinney is M-C-K-I-N-N-E-Y. Awesome. Well, Erik, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about all the great work that you're doing over at Impact XM to create memorable experiences in this new now. And I'm looking forward to attending one of your events. I have to see when something's coming up one day, because I want to see your work and what you do, because I know you guys are leaders in the industry. A lot of events under your belt, and excited to see what's next. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. Hope you learned a lot. If you did, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. We have many more mission-based entrepreneurs and also businesses coming up for you next, and we definitely don't want you to miss anything that's coming up. So hit that subscribe button for us. And Erik, thanks again for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure. Awesome. Thank you very much, Adam. I really enjoyed it.